What do you make of golf these days, Gary? I mean, Tiger Woods obviously been a very interesting last couple of years. He unlike you had yourself, Arnold and Jack. I guess the three of you at the top of the game shouldered the pressure collectively. He, for many years, dominated by himself. I guess, does that mean that we should sympathise a little bit with what's happened?
Well, I'm a Tiger Woods fan. I think that it's imperative that we have a superstar playing well, and you know, people want to watch the TV ratings go up, sponsors want to be associated, and he was by so far the best. By so far, there's nobody playing the tour with him that could come close to him, and it's not good for golf. We need that kind of man for golf. They're making the golf courses too long now. Making the greens too undulating. They're making the ball go too far. So we're spending too much money on making other golf courses longer. We're going about it the wrong way, and it's really hurting golf. And the proof is in the bottom line. The bottom line is that golf has got problems. Instead of having all the technology for amateurs, but no, cut the ball back as a pro 50 yards. Don't go lengthening golf courses and spending all that money. Hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars or pounds are being spent around the world lengthening golf courses. What for? The members hate it. They're making the greens undulated. The members hate it. They're raising the fees. They're levying people. The water's running out, to tell somebody in Britain that, but the world is running out of water.
But do you not think, Gary, that it's more competitive now? I mean, with respect to Tiger, who was, as you say, I mean, he was so good. He was head and shoulders above everybody else. But with Tiger losing some form and others gaining form, it's made it more competitive, at least.
Well, it's made it more competitive, but it hasn't reached the pinnacle of where he was, and that's what everybody wants to see. Actually, we want to see both competitive, but we want to see it at the highest pinnacle, and nobody's reached his pinnacle yet. That's for sure.
Do you think he's going to get? I mean, everybody thought he'd get the 18 match Jack for his 18. I think he's on 14 majors now. 14. Do you think that's still doable? Debatable. I'm not so sure now. Huh?
It's debatable. I always hesitated, never hesitated. Nobody can tell. I'd just like to see him stop having all these different coaches, because they're all telling him something different, and I think he gets a bit confused of this. I personally believe that's what his problem is, that he's got a bit of paralysis of analysis. And that'll sort itself out. So when somebody's as great as he was, how do you ever say he'll never come back?
You can never say never, can you?
No, I've had too much experience to ever pass an opinion like that. He's so great. It'd be a shame if he doesn't, but I've seen a lot of people not come back. Severiano Ballesteros, David Duval, Ian Baker Finch, you can name a lot of them. Even a superstar like Tom Watson never won for 10 years out here. No. So you just never know.
Now, you're not the only famous player, are you, in the player family? You have an older brother, and what he's achieved in his own right is also incredible, isn't it? Perhaps you'd like to quickly tell us what he's done.
My brother became really the leading conservationist in the world. He kept and made sure that the rhino did not become extinct because it was well on its way, and actually sacrificed his life on many occasions. People wanting to kill him, and living in the bush and sleeping with snakes, and oh my goodness, what an incredible life. And was offered lots of money to go to America and work in some of their different projects. Turned it all down when he was making like £500 a month, and because this was his life. And I spoke to him the other day, and he's extremely well read, 82 years of age, bent over, and a tear came down his cheeks. I spent my life basically trying to save the rhino, and there are people killing the rhinos today, flying in a helicopter, killing the rhino, not even killing it sometimes, darting it, cutting the tusk off, leaving it there to rot. There definitely should be a death penalty for people that do that to this harmless animal, that they can go in there and dart it and cut the horn off and let it lie there and suffer. And to take that horn and have the world believe it's an aphrodisiac. Can you believe that people can still be that barbaric and so uneducated to believe that that's an aphrodisiac?
Sounds like you're very proud of for everything that you've achieved in the sporting world and beyond the sporting world. You're very proud of what your brother's achieved as well.
Well, I am, and when you think of countries like Zimbabwe, where they just had this great wildlife and what they've done, and how they've ruined that, and how in Africa the game is part of our life. It's our greatest tourist attraction, and I have such a love for animals, and when I think of what they're doing to these animals, honest to goodness, it's hard to explain.
Well, you mentioned love for animals. Of course, you have a stud farm. You even had a horse in the Derby, didn't you? The Epsom Derby a few years ago.
Yes, I did. Broadway Flyer. He went on to win a Group 1 in America after the Derby. He got very sick at the Derby. Mr. Hills trained it, which was unfortunate. And then he went on to finish second in the St. Leger, the oldest classic in the world. Then he won 2 Group 3s. Went on to do extremely well. So, and my stud farm has been doing well. We bred the best filly in the country in South Africa last year. We bred the best sprinter this year. And right now we own for stud one of the greatest stayers South Africa's ever had. So we're having a good trot.
Now, give player Nicklaus, Palmer, the facilities that they have today. Give them the equipment. Give them the youth. They'd be winning, would they?
Would they be winning? My goodness me. There's still nobody that if you gave Jack Nicklaus the equipment they have today, not only equipment, but soft spikes where there are no spike marks on the green, hundreds, where you don't have to rake the bunker with your back of your foot or just with a lousy old rake, and the fairways cut short and the greens like billiard tables, and $1 million first prize every week, and they're all flying around in their jets. I think Jack would beat them all, because I've played with them and I've seen, and I don't see anybody that could beat Jack. Tiger and Nicklaus, pretty close. When they're both on their best, a tie.
Is that a fact, really? And the Masters, it's an impossible question to finish with. Who's going to win the Masters? I guess it's, with Tiger not being as dominant now, it's a very open field, is it not?
It made the golf course so long that, but it's very open. You can't say that. It's not. You know, when you talk about Wimbledon, you're talking about 7 matches, you know, which is tough. But you know, a Federer or a Nadal or a Djokovic, something like you can say one of those guys, or a Murray, you can say, and you're not far off. But golf, man, there are 156 players at tee up. Very tough, and anybody can win. And that 156, anyone can win. Not any one of their, whatever, how many people play in Wimbledon? You can limit it to how many can really win. Big difference.
Yes, you did it. How many times did you win the Masters in the end? 3 times.
3 times, and second 3 times, which is like only your wife and your dog know about second.
All right, Gary. Well, it's been a pleasure to talk to you today.
Thank you very much.
And best of luck for the next 75 years.
Thank you.